How's it going, you guys? AZ Plow 21 back again with another fight card here in our UFC save in WMMA 5. And here today, it is a quarterfinal in the Super Lightweight Grand Prix. In our main event, it is Kevin Lee versus Kamaru Usman. A big win this past weekend as I'm recording this for Usman, knocking out Jorge Masvidal. Absolutely insane. I figured Usman would win, but I did not think he was going to knock him out like that. That was absolutely incredible. A lot of fun had by me this past weekend, and should be a good pay-per-view in about a month's, not even 2 weeks time, as I'm excited as Michael Chandler takes on Charles Oliveira for the lightweight title. Nate Diaz versus Leon Edwards. It's gonna be crazy in Houston. Lee versus Usman. We're making our way towards UFC 287. Luque versus Thompson 2. Main event, Vicente Luque and Wonderboy Thompson for the welterweight title. A little bit of a development. Zabit Magomedsharipov will take on Brian Ortega for the interim featherweight title after Max Holloway had to pull out due to an injury. In our last episode, we saw Rory McDonald beat Conor McGregor in a first-round matchup for the Super Lightweight Grand Prix. A little bit of a development there as well. Conor McGregor injured for a while. But Rory McDonald's out for like 3 months, and I kind of want to keep the tournament just moving along. So, in order to do that, AJ McKee is going to fight Mike Perry at Super Lightweight, and whoever wins that will move on to the semifinals. Done and dusted. So AJ McKee making the move up from featherweight. Mike Perry, they're the same height, so I figured it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But after the tournament is completely done with, Rory McDonald will be the first challenger for the Super Lightweight Championship. Awesome. Sounds good? Sounds good. Kamaru Usman and Kevin Lee. Let's get it going. Taking place in Michigan, the home state of Kevin Lee. Should give him a slight advantage there. Let's go ahead and get this fight night underway with The Truth, TJ Laramie, as he takes on Justin, the American Kid Lawrence, former Bellator fighter, in our prelims today. And it's TJ Laramie coming out on top with a knockout due to a knee in round number 1. Big prospect in the 145 division as TJ Laramie picks up a win today. Nick the Carney Lentz taking on Ozzy Beckhoff, sure, as Ozzy is 14-3, Nick is 32-14, 2-1, and it's Ozzy coming out on top in round number 2 with only 2 seconds left to go, capping off his UFC debut with a victory. Maxim Divnik taking on Devonta Smith in the 155 division, and it's Devonta Smith knocking out Maxim Divnik in a fantastic fight. And Smith is 5-3 in the UFC now. Interesting as he knocks out Divnik. Moving right along, Christian Simon taking on Rafael Nunes in the 155 division, and Nunes wins a split decision over Simon, giving him his 3rd loss of his career. And he's calling out Luis Gustavo. Islam Makhachev not doing very well in this save, taking on Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner, I believe, is doing quite well, if I'm not mistaken. 5-2 in the UFC, so not all that great, but before this loss over Davi Ramos was coming off of 4 straight wins. Makhachev, on the other hand, yikes. 5 straight losses. He is in serious danger of being sent down to WEC, if not worse. And I mean, the people he's been losing to. Kevin Lee, understandable. Michael Johnson, I mean, kind of. Jakashi, he's doing amazingly now. Felder, you get, I guess. Matt Frevola, TKO'd in 45 seconds. Ridiculous. He would be on 6 straight losses if he loses to Jalen Turner. He's the underdog. Jalen Turner wins via unanimous decision. I don't get it. Everyone wave goodbye to Islam Makhachev as he goes down to WEC. And Turner is calling out Spike Carlisle. Amir Khan Adayev taking on Magomed Mustafayev in the 155 division. A pair of Russians going at it, and it's Adayev who comes out on top. You hate to see it, absolutely. Makhachev having to go down to WEC. Jun Young Park fighting for his job essentially against Dusko Todorovic. I believe Park is also on like 4 straight losses. He's lost 3 out of his last 4. in 4 out of his last 6. And he's not a favorite at all against Todorovic. And Todorovic sends Park to WEC. Everyone again wave goodbye to Jung Young Park. Jin Nagai taking on James Nakashima. In the middleweight division, Nakashima 2-1 in the UFC, coming off a win over Glenn Sparv. On the other side, you got Jin Nagai 1-0 in the UFC, coming off a win over Jun Young Park. Very even fight between the two of them. Nagai has no fight team out of Japan, and it's James Nakashima getting a first-round TKO over Jin Nagai. Brennan Ullan Allen taking on Chris the Cut Honeycutt. Allen 16-5, Honeycutt 17-3-1 in the 185 division. Honeycutt 3-0 in the UFC already. Gotta love it. On the other side, you have Allen, who is 4-2, losses to Vieira and Neto. And it's Brendan Ullan Allen who gives Honeycutt his first loss in the UFC, fighting out of Duke Rufus Sport. Blagoy Ivanov fighting for his job, basically, against Anatoly Malakin. Ivanov, a favorite in this one against the 34-year-old in Anatoly Malakin. 2-2 in the UFC, but Malakin wins a split decision over Ivanov. And yikes, Ivanov, a little too old for WEC, so everyone just wave goodbye to Ivanov in general. And he says he wants to fight Sergey Spivak next, Malakin. Philip DeFries taking on Giacomo Lemos in the first fight of the main card. DeFries 22-7-1, a big favorite today as the number 23 heavyweight in the world, number 18 in our division. Lemos 5-0 in the UFC, coming off a win over Augusto Sakai. And it is Philip DeFries who gets a submission over Giacomo Lemos in round number 1. 33-year-old getting his first loss of his career. And Philip DeFries wants to fight Frank Mir, interestingly enough. Moving on, Ariane Lipski taking on Juliana Velasquez. Now Lipski very close to getting a title shot. Losing to Jillian Robertson, that'll do it. But before that, 4 straight wins. Juliana Velasquez, 15-3, 3 losses in the UFC, all coming in straight fashion. Robertson, Maroche, Mackenzie Dern. Nothing to be ashamed of with those losses, but definitely wanting to get back in the winning column over Ariane Lipski here today, and she cannot do so. Ariane Lipski, the violence queen, proving it there, knocking out Juliana Velasquez. 4 straight losses now for the veteran in Velasquez. Moving on, Tagir Ullan Beckhoff taking on Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. Now, I don't want to say that I'm a little bit of a fortune teller, but Mighty Mouse has not been having a very good time in this save, and recently he got knocked out in one championship. It is what it is. But coming off win over Hector Sandoval, before that lost to John Moraga and Jose Torres. Faces off with Ullan Beckhoff, number 18 in the division, coming off a no contest to Alexander Pantoja. I believe he is coming out of a drug suspension. Mighty Mouse, what do you have to say? He gets submitted in round number 3. All right. Cool. Awesome. Ullan Beckhoff, a big win over the former champion in Mighty Mouse Johnson. Moving on. Doo-Ho Choi, the Korean Superboy. Always very exciting when he fights. Taking on Alex Enlin, 23-1. 1 win in his UFC career over Guan Wong. Doo-Ho Choi. Love saying that name. Coming off a loss to Kyler Phillips. And it is the Korean Superboy getting the knockout in round number 3. Always exciting to see. I will give him fights until he dies, essentially, because he is a very exciting fighter in real life. Co-main event of the evening. Ruthless Robbie Lawler, pair of 40-year-olds going at it. I don't think Mighty Mouse is going down to WEC, but he definitely needs to get wins. Robbie Lawler taking on Tyron Woodley. A rematch from a title fight a few years ago, or not necessarily a few years ago, long time in game. But Tyron Woodley, number 5 in the welterweight division, getting back into it, and fighting in the middleweight division against Clint Hester and knocking him out. He's only had 2 fights in this entire save. Lost to Usman, and then beat Hester. That was it. Robbie Lawler on the other side. Coming off a very interesting time in the save. Got Jorge Masvidal he lost to. Wonderboy Thompson, and then he beat Neil Magny. So, I don't know who's going to win this. Robbie Lawler doesn't have a fight team. Tyron Woodley TKOs Robbie Lawler again. In round number 2, fight rated as being great. Is Tyron Woodley making a comeback? He wants to fight Wonderboy again. That's funny. Wonderboy has a title fight scheduled, so I doubt that's happening soon. But we've arrived at our main event of the evening. A very interesting contest between Kevin Lee and Kamaru Usman in a quarterfinal in the Super Lightweight Championship Tournament. Whoever wins is going to the semifinals. It is our main event here today. Kamaru Usman is coming off the win over Joseph Duffy. Duffy before that beat Colby again. And Kevin Lee coming fresh off of beating, he's 4 straight wins. Look at this. Michael Johnson, Cowboy Cerrone, Conor McGregor, and GSP. Insane. It's our main event. Let's get it going. In the hometown of Kevin Lee, here in Michigan, Steve Mazzagatti is your referee. As round 1 is underway, Lee does not touch gloves with Usman. Lee is a full 3 inches shorter than Usman. Gluttony has Kevin Lee. Lee moves in closer, ready to attack. Defensive jab from Usman. Punch from Lee fails to land. Usman grabbing him in the clinch. Lee gets backed up against the cage. Lee is the favorite in this contest. A minus 150 favorite. Takedown attempt from Lee. He gets it. Uh-oh. Lee trying to get it a guillotine. Can't get it. Lee trying to improve his position. Not doing any damage. Round 1 comes to a close. And apparently Kevin Lee wins the first round. If we see Wonderboy win his fight, maybe we can see Woodley versus Thompson 3. Thompson wins that fight, then by law, Woodley versus Thompson 4 has to happen. It would be 1-1-1. Underhook looking to take Usman down, and he gets taken down. Usman drives him up against the cage, smothering him up against the cage. Smothered up again. Not much going on in round number 2. Usman still smothering him. As round 2, oh, I was about to say comes to an end, but I mean, Lee gets in another takedown right before the end of the round, and apparently wins the second round. Catches Usman with a crunching right hook. Takedown attempt from Lee. He gets it. Oh wait, never mind. No, Kevin Lee gets in a takedown. Third takedown for Kevin Lee here in the third round. Could be dangerous for the Nigerian Nightmare. Lee with an armbar attempt. Usman blocks it. Under a minute left to go. Lee tries to get in an arm triangle. He can't get it. Knee to the ribs. Another knee strike to the ribs as round 3 comes to an end, and Lee won it as well. Usman running out of rounds. He might need a finish. Fantastic right cross. Usman wobbles and falls, hammering down punches. Shot after shot. Mazzagatti pulls Lee away. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner via TKO, and moving on to the semifinals of the Super Lightweight Grand Prix is Kevin Lee. Wow. I did not see this coming. Kevin Lee out of nowhere. Turning it on. Gotta love it. You gotta love it. I believe there was a fantastic fight on this card. There was 2. We'll give it to these guys. Performance bonus for Smith. And performance bonus for Todorovic. And yeah, that'll do it. Nice little profit. As always, we're going to update our rankings. Take a look at what is next to come in this save. Got a pay-per-view lined up. That should be a good one. 2 title fights and 1 interim title fight to come on that pay-per-view. It should be a good one. But now, we're starting to, you know, realize what's coming for the semifinals. We also have AJ McKee, who's going to fight Mike Perry for that final spot in the semifinals. And thankfully, because I don't want to have that Grand Prix go on for as, you know, super long, making everyone wait, you know, to fight and whatnot. That wouldn't be overly fun. Wonder Boy versus Luque, though. Honestly, if Wonder Boy wins, Luque might get a rematch just because he's been super dominant as champion. So I feel like it'd be warranted to give Luque a rematch in that situation. But I do get what you're saying about Woodley. It would be pretty fun. Because they did have a draw. And that draw that they had was very exciting, actually. But yeah, we still got 2 more fight cards to come before the pay-per-view. Hope you guys are enjoying. I'm AZPlow21. As always, be sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitch so you can watch whenever I am live streaming. All that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter. All the links should be down in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I've been recording some random stuff lately. I recently just decided that I wanted to play a bunch of old sports video games, so I'm just gonna do a little series on retro sports gaming and just upload, I believe, 1 episode a week of me playing an old video game. Should be pretty fun. Just a little extra series for my channel. As let's go ahead and take a look at our updated rankings. DeFries moves up to number 10. Light heavyweight, nothing going on. Middleweight, nothing going on. Welterweight, Tyron Woodley moves ahead of Wonder Boy for some reason. Robbie Lawler down to number 15. Super lightweight, Kevin Lee moves up to number 2. At lightweight, no movement. Featherweight, Duho Choi is ranked again. You'll love to see it. Bantamweight, nothing. At flyweight, Ullan Beckhoff up to number 11. And Mighty Mouse down to number 14. Nardiev versus Woodley, that could be, but Nardiev is already scheduled to fight Colby Covington. Nardiev is going to be fighting Colby Covington. Flyweight, lots going on. Ullan Beckhoff, Rio Hada moving up as well. Bantamweight, nothing going on. At flyweight, Lipsky up to number 7. Velasquez down to 17. Yikes. Nothing at strawweight. All right, so the next time that I see you guys will be for UFC Fight Night Rodriguez versus Mendez. Yair Rodriguez and Chad Mendez in the main event. Number 6 versus number 7. That should be a good one. Also got Jack Marshman and Gunnar Nelson, Aspen Ladd, Miranda Maverick, and much more. Also got Stamp Fairtex versus Bailey Zhang. That is our main event in China, followed by UFC 287, Luque versus Thompson. I'm AZPlow21. You guys have a good rest of your day. Appreciate you guys for joining me.